What's going on, you guys? Today we are talking about the top 5 NBA players for a playoff run if it were to start tomorrow, who I would take to bring my franchise to glory. As always, like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let me know what you guys think about your top 5 players. If a playoff run were to start tomorrow, the NBA season comes back, who are your top 5 in order that you would take to win yourself a championship? Let's get right into it. So I'm going to start at 1 because I think it's a little bit more obvious who's going to be at the top. So number 1, LeBron James. He's the king. He's done it. He's been there, done that, won championships at 2 franchises already. He's about to win his 3rd with the Los Angeles Lakers. He carries his team. He's hit the clutch shots. He's harassed a franchise in Toronto. LeBronto is what they like to call it whenever they have to play him. This is one of the best players in NBA history. I make the case he is the best player in NBA history. LeBron, number 1 on my list. Number 2, I go to Kawhi Leonard. I have to give this guy credit. All he does is win. Throughout the regular season, he takes years off. He load manages. He takes his time. He's very patient with coming back from injuries. He won a championship and a Finals MVP with the Spurs, and then with Toronto. I have to give him credit, even though the stars aligned for him with Golden State getting as injured as they did. Kawhi Leonard deserves a lot of points in my book, and as long as he keeps winning and being successful, I have to keep him on the top of my list. He's the guy that I want for a playoff run tomorrow if I can't have LeBron. Number 3 on my list is tentative. Right now it is Giannis Antetokounmpo, but when KD comes back, it might end up being KD. And what I mean by that is, if KD hadn't missed the last season entirely, I would have KD number 3 on my list. But because of the fact that he's taken a year off with a horrible injury that he's recovering from, God bless him and his family. But I got to go to Giannis right now just because he's about to potentially be back-to-back regular season MVP. There is a way to stop him in the playoffs, though. He's shooting, 30% from 3 right now. He's got to get that up. He's shooting more 3s per game than he's ever done in his career. I believe he's at about 4 per game now, which is good for him. But you got to get those percentages up. Come playoff time, they created a wall. They created a box and 1 against him. They did a wall against him. Everybody for Boston had their eyes on Giannis while the one player guarded him, and they were helping off their defenders. It was just ridiculous how they defended him, and because he doesn't have the ball handling abilities to necessarily get past those guys consistently and put a move on them, as well as the ability to hit his shot. He can create a shot. He can't hit it all the time, though, and that's the problem. That's why I would put KD, when fully healthy, ahead of Giannis, but I haven't seen it for a year, so Giannis number 3 on my list. KD number 4. Now number 5 is where I get pretty controversial. Some people would say Steph Curry. Some people would say for this year maybe Luka Doncic. I almost want to say Anthony Davis because of his ability to stretch the floor as a big, which is so huge in today's game, and his ability to play defense. But for number 5 on my list, I'm going to a guy who has ended 2 playoff series with a buzzer-beating 3-pointer, ending 2 seasons, one that I witnessed in person last year, and that's Damian Lillard, who hit the game-winning 3 over Paul George from 30 feet to end that series in Game 5, as well as beating Houston in Game 6. Similar scenario, except they were losing, 0.9 on the clock. Hits a deep 3-pointer. The crowd goes crazy. They advance in the playoffs for the first time. I believe it was in 14 years at that point. Damian Lillard, Dollar Dame, he's so clutch. He's so much of a dog, and that's what I love about him in comparison to Steph Curry. Steph Curry, there have been times where he's not the biggest dog on his own team. Draymond Green's definitely the biggest dog defensively. Offensively, remember when they were down 3-1 against OKC? Game 5, okay, Steph had a really good game, but Game 6 on the road, Steph hit a couple clutch shots, but it was Klay Thompson that brought them back in that game. Klay Thompson has been the dog offensively for that team when they need a bucket. Klay Thompson always delivers. Steph Curry sometimes delivers, like he had a really clutch shot against New Orleans to send it to overtime in the first round, but there was no doubt they were going to win that series even if they lost that game. So it wasn't, when the stakes are at their highest, Steph Curry hasn't consistently stepped up, whereas Damian Lillard has. Last year, the only reason that Damian Lillard lost that playoff series in a sweep to Golden State in the conference finals was because Damian Lillard was getting double and triple teamed on his way to the paint. Damian Lillard has never got the calls that he deserved. Like I said, I was at that game Game 5 against OKC, he was getting roughed up, hitting contested threes, hitting threes where he got fouled, not getting a call that should have had an opportunity for 5 to 6 4-point plays potentially in that game, and he wasn't getting the calls. Damian Lillard never gets the calls, and in that series against Golden State, CJ McCollum absolutely disappeared during the fourth quarters, and that was the biggest problem for Portland. It wasn't Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard gave it his all, but CJ McCollum let down the Blazers in some very close games against Golden State last year, and so because of that, I have Damian Lillard 5 on my list. I just love his dog mentality. He's more of a dog for me than Curry is. You can't go wrong with either player to start a playoff series, but Damian Lillard gets the edge for me. So to summarize my list, number 1 I got LeBron, number 2 I got Kawhi, number 3 for now I got Giannis because KD hasn't played for a year, but when KD comes back, I'm reserving the right to put KD at number 3 on my list. Number 4 I go to KD right now because Giannis is number 3, and then number 5, controversially, Damian Lillard. As always, like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let me know your top 5. Am I crazy for putting Damian Lillard number 5 on my list? As always, go Hawks.